This video is not meant to be me dunking on any fragrance houses in particular, I promise. This video is also not me telling anyone who likes any of these fragrances that I'm about to criticize that their opinions are wrong or anything like that. I, like you, watch a lot of fragrance content, and I've just noticed that a lot of the fragrance content creators that I consume don't really talk that much about the fragrances that they don't like. I don't know if some of these content creators are just afraid that brands may not want to work with them if they do a lot of negative reviews, or if they would just rather spend their time and energy focused on fragrances that they do like. I think that's a valid take on it too. But to me, I do think that we kind of do a disservice to our audiences as creators when we don't talk about things that are overhyped or overpriced or just not what people are making them out to be. And I kind of get it. I get why people are afraid to kind of have that counter position when it comes to fragrances, but that's not going to be what I'm doing here. How can we as creators really earn the trust of our audience if we don't criticize these things that we think need it? How can we prove to our audience that we have our own sense of taste and discernment and just an eye for our own sense of quality if we don't talk about what we don't like? As an audience, how can you trust a content creator if every single video they make is, oh, this is the greatest fragrance ever. Oh my God, this is beast mode. This is so great. If every single video is hype, 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 like at some point your audience is gonna realize, oh, this guy is just trying to sell us. This guy is just trying to make $1 off his audience. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with it, but I do think we need to have a little bit more discernment about this. So I'm gonna offer up 5 brands that I have tried to get into, but just for some reason, it's just not doing it for me. And these are brands that are popular and loved by many, so please don't take it personally if this is a brand that you particularly like. The first one I've talked about on this channel before, Joe Milano's Game of Spades. Game of Spades has kind of made itself out to be like a high-end dupe line. They do a lot of Bond number 9 clones, they do some Louis Vuitton clones, and I think what they're going for with their scent profile is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with duping a fragrance. I own dupes. I like dupes. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. To me, it's the quality of their ingredients. I ordered the Joe Milano Game of Spades sampler set. It came with 9 different fragrances in it. I was so excited to try it out because I had just seen so much hype and talk about it online by people who genuinely really think these are high quality fragrances. Well, I got this sampler set in the mail, and it's probably one of the only fragrances that I've ever had to scrub off my skin. Like, there's just something that's so synthetic. I don't know what particular ingredient it is, or if it is just the quality of the ingredients in general that just is so sickening to me. I could not wear it. And I've worn fragrances that I didn't really love the scent profile, and I didn't go to the bathroom and scrub them off my skin, but in this circumstance, I did. The fact that Game of Spades is just priced higher than most dupe lines, to me, it's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, there are better options at a lower price point, in my opinion. And just, I know that they really go hard with their influencer marketing. They pay a lot of people to do reviews for their fragrances. And I think when people are paid to do reviews, they're obviously a little biased and they want to show other brands, hey, look me, I can push your product for you. And that's just not something I would do for Game of Spades. They've never reached out to me personally, but even if they did, I would decline to work with them because I just don't think their quality, their ingredients is good. It's not something I can really recommend. It's one thing to smell a fragrance and be like, okay, this isn't for me, but it's for somebody. I've reviewed many fragrances and felt that way. But to really, like I said, have to scrub the ingredients off because I just felt like, I was like, this is almost repulsive smelling. It's just, it's not something I can give my endorsement to. The next brand is an entry-level niche brand by the name of Mancera. I've met quite a few people that are Mancera lovers. I see photos of people's collections. A lot of people have Cedrat Boisé. I think I said that right this time. That is like one that people really tend to like. Red Tobacco is a really commonly loved fragrance by them as well. And for me, I don't like their stuff. Red Tobacco to me smells like a wet ashtray. Cedrat Boisé is kind of Aventus direction type of fragrance, and I just think there's just, I just think that style's been done so many times. Cidre Boisé was just nothing really to write home about, in my opinion. And all the other fragrances that I've tried in their line, they just don't do it for me. I tried Lemon Aqua Oud. Wait, no, what's the name of it? Oud Lemon Mint. This, to me, was one of the worst fragrances that I've ever smelled. The fact that someone tried to add oud to a lemon mint freshy fragrance, it doesn't work for me particularly. I will give a little caveat. There is one fragrance sample that I have of a Mancera. It is Aquawood. It's what I thought the other one was. And I like it. The opening is not very good, and it's very, I don't know if that is like Mancera's downfall, is that I just kind of can't get past the openings on a lot of their fragrances. I tried Aquawood because a buddy of mine sent me a sample of it, and again, opening, I was like, this stuff sucks. As it dries down, it is better, and that may be the thing with Mancera, like the dry down may be where Mancera shines as a brand, but for me, the opening, I just can't get past a lot of it. So just another brand for me that I think is really loved, talked about, hyped. I see a lot of Mancera fragrances in a lot of people's collections, but to me, I just don't get it. Next, we have Goldfield and Banks, and I think this is kind of similar to Mancera in the fact that there's just a lot of people that really love them, and I think Goldfield and Banks as a brand does a really good job with their packaging, with the way they name their fragrances, with their bottles. It's really appealing to me. I've given this brand chance after chance after chance with different fragrances because I really wanted to like them and I wanted to get a bottle of theirs in my collection, but I just haven't been able to find something that just hasn't been disappointing. Even Ingenious Ginger, which is kind of the fragrance that is the #1 in their line, it's okay, but the ginger just dries down to straight vanilla. It doesn't even really last that long to me as a ginger fragrance, so it isn't even accurate to what I thought it was gonna be outside of the first like 30 minutes, so I wasn't really a big fan of that. The next one I tried, which is super popular now, is Pacific Rock Moss, and I just think for the price of what you're getting at $70, $80 a bottle, if not more, you can get the same type of scent, Versace Mano Fresh, for $40, maybe even less, on discounters. And so while their branding, their packaging, and the way they name their fragrances is really well done and intriguing, kind of like when you go buy paint at Home Depot or Lowe's, and they've got these paints named all these different crazy things. You're like, I'm looking for beige and tan, but the paint is named Cliff Rock or like whatever the hell. It's branding, and they do a good job with it. And so that's, I think, the strength of their brand. But in terms of the juice, it's really nothing innovative or anything spectacular to me personally. The next fragrance I just can't seem to get into is Valentino. Really, really sweet fragrances. I feel like this is meant for the kid that eats nothing but candy and rips sugary nicotine vapes all the time. Like, that is what that fragrance is. That is like the young man's designer fragrance. That's a designer brand meant to target a younger demographic than it should be targeting, personally. I will say, similar to Goldfield and Banks, good branding. The bottle design is absolutely iconic, and that is a big reason why I've given Valentino so many different chances with their fragrances, but they don't last that long. They're really sweet. They're too, like, youthful in a way that's just kind of like, it's just kind of like sugary and immature. Like, at a certain point, you don't want to just drink sugary slushies from 7-Eleven anymore. At some point, you no longer have the desire to eat sugary popsicles on a summer day anymore. I gave Green Stravaganza a try. I got a full-size bottle of it because I thought this is probably the closest one to a fragrance that's going to maybe stay in my collection. And even that one, it was sweet up top, and it's not as sweet as the other one, so theoretically, it would be the one that I like the most, but it doesn't last that long. And again, it's just really not something that, it's just not for me. The last brand I want to talk about that I'm just not a really big fan of, and this one is the one that I think really might get me some hate, and that is Jean Paul Gaultier. An iconic fragrance brand with that super recognizable bottle that has been around for decades and stayed atop the fragrance game and has not fallen off by any means. Not in terms of popularity, but for me, I just can't find a fragrance in their line that's just for me. I tried all of them. I've sampled all of them. The closest one for me was Le Mail Le Parfum, and I think that one is very widely recognized as one of the best in their line. And for me, it's almost like that brand is meant to be sampled on a tester strip, then you buy the full bottle, and then when you wear it on skin, you're like, oh, this is actually not what I initially thought it was. Sometimes I think these designer fragrance brands do that. The top notes are just so captivating and amazing. You really need to wear them on skin and experience the entire duration of the fragrance. How does it evolve? How does it dry down? How does it change? And to me, that has been the weakness for Jean Paul Gaultier. I haven't been able to find a fragrance that I've just wanted to wear for hours and hours at a time. Like, they smell good to sample, but it's something about wearing it on skin. I just can't get myself to buy a full-size bottle of any of the Jean Paul Gaultiers. I think Labo EDT, not Labo Le Parfum. The EDT is the closest one I've really liked, but performance is also not really something to write home about here. And I just think in the designer price point, there are just many better options to buy and wear. So any of these fragrances, if you're a collector and you like owning full sets of fragrances from different brands, like, I get it, do your thing. If you like these fragrance brands, by no means am I telling you need to sell all of them and never buy them again and don't like what you like. But these are 5 fragrance brands that I just can't for the life of me get behind, no matter how much I try. Let me know what you think about these fragrance brands. What is that one brand for you that everyone seems to love, but for some reason you just can't get behind it? These are mine, and I'm curious to know what you think. So let me know down in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. If you enjoyed it, I would encourage you to check out some of the other videos on my channel. Consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel as it pushes the videos to a greater audience, and I would highly appreciate that. So again, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video, guys. Peace.